It's always a swoon-worthy Sunday.
On 702's Jazz and Beyond with Nothemba Madumo.
And you on 702.
This is where you come for the jazz and you stay for a good time. And remember that we can share the good time together. 072-702-1702 is the WhatsApp number. And the other one is 072-567-1567 if you're listening on Cape Talk. And I see you, Ishmael. You've already shared how you're already enjoying the show. In fact, you loved the first track already that featured Ingrid Jensen and Jason Miles. Auntie C, I see you as well, who's loving the Pops Muhammad Armonati Fela. Thank you. And I see you also on Facebook, Brian Given, Wali Kosi. I see you, Tikundu. I see you, Floyd Lolo Sireme. And I see you, there's Simon Ndlovu, who's saying, in the exhilarating years of our democracy, it felt like we were crafting pure magic, often celebrated as the enchanting essence of the Diba magic, he says. He says, jazz with its vibrant rhythms and soulful melodies flourished during the time. And of course, he's referring to the fact that I played the two tracks, the Makhoy Mbobata, the groove, and Pops Muhammad, the spirit. And festivals, as he says, during that time were vibrant. And talking about festivals, there's one coming up this weekend. I don't know if you do remember that. About 30 years ago, there used to be Jazz on the Lake. It was always on the 1st of September. It was always every year ushering Heritage Month. Well, things have developed and changed over the years. It is now called what it's called? Jazz in the Lights, yes. And that's thanks to Arts Alive brand. But of course, I am joined now in the studio by the Directorate of the Director of the Directorate of the Arts and Culture and Heritage in the city of Johannesburg. And this is Vuyisile Mshudulu. And a very good evening. Welcome to Jazz and Beyond.
Good evening, and good evening to the listeners of 702. And we're really delighted to be part of Jazz and Beyond.
We're happy to have you because you're going to clear up a few things and also just, get everybody going to look forward to the festival coming up, on the 29th. But first, you being the director of the Directorate of the Arts, Culture and Heritage, the Directorate of Arts, Culture and Heritage, where does it sit in the city of Johannesburg, in the Department of Arts and Culture, in the National Department of Arts and Culture? What exactly is it? Just to understand even where even Arts Alive sits.
So, in essence, government is divided into three spheres: national, provincial, and local government. And then there are certain competencies that are assigned to national and provincial government, and others to local government.
Yeah.
Now, insofar as the arts and culture is concerned, there is a National Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, and then there's a Provincial Department of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture, and we are part of the Department of Community Development within the city of Johannesburg as a metropolitan municipality.
Oh.
And part of the Department of Community Development is got three core departments, which is Library Information Services, Sports and Recreation, and Arts, Culture and Heritage. It's one of those directorates within that department.
And then, is there synergy with what the regional Department of Sports, Arts and Culture does, and the national department, and what you do within the department? You said the Department of Community.
Yes, certainly.
It's very confusing, yeah,
Certainly there are synergies, but I think those synergies can be elevated. We do operate within the framework of intergovernmental relations, where there is cooperation between the local, provincial and national spheres of government. There are certain things that we do together. For example, the offerings of Arts Alive. Arts Alive is structured. It's a structured brand under which we have designed our creative offerings as a city of Johannesburg. And we do collaborate quite closely with provincial government and in some instances even with national government. But how we have structured Arts Alive is that traditionally Arts Alive used to be a festival and very music focused. And we have reimagined Arts Alive to be an assemblage of artistic offerings so that it looks at the disciplines of the creative industries more holistically than just music or performing arts. And we now also have a focus on visual arts, we have a focus on design, we have a focus on film and audiovisual, and then we have a focus on the craft sector. So all of these, to varying degrees, we do as a city make interventions. But the way that we do our interventions is also that there's a philosophy behind it, is that we scan the environment and we look at things that are already working well within the cultural and creative industries. And then we also look at what in economic terms could be deemed as market failure, where the market is not intervening. And that's when we as government would then play a bigger role in intervening. And so as part of our interventions, we look at, for example, in music, the Jazz Festival is one of those interventions, because we feel as though that even though there are so many jazz festivals, but many of them do not have a jazz focus. They are generally music festivals and not necessarily jazz festivals.
Tell me about it.
And we have been very intentional in curating, our musical offerings, focusing mainly on genres of music that are under-supported, that are underfunded, and even under-broadcasted. And jazz is one of those. We've also looked at choral, and we've designed a music festival that focuses on choral music. And then we also looked at indigenous gospel music, which is clap and tap. And then lately also there's a new genre of Amazayoni that has come through. So those are the interventions we look at as part of our niche offering, given the limitations in our resources. But then, as part of the Arts Alive, we've always had a flagship initiative, which is Jazz on the Lake. And Jazz on the Lake has been, for 30 years, a very youth-focused festival that we have been offering at the lake in Zoo Lake, in Johannesburg. And we decided that we need to reimagine that festival, because we found that there aren't enough offerings that are family-oriented. And now we have come up with a brand called Jazz in the Lights, which is an offering that we are offering inside the zoo, and it is more family oriented, it is child friendly, and we are able to give people the experience of enjoying the zoo amenities whilst also indulging in the delectable music, and it is authentically a jazz festival. So you will see from our exciting lineup of jazz artists that we have, we've got a lot of great artists, but we've also been very intentional in how we curate the jazz festival. We've got the legends that we focus on. Babu Fayafaku is one of the legends, Babu Kaya Mahlangu, Kalomo Mbeli, and those are some of the legends that we have within that segment. And we bring in also very established artists, such as...
And also the young ones.
Yes.
I see, you have Ipupo Lika Biko, Gabino
Yes.
Tuba, The Brother Moves On, as well. Amanda Black, Sisonke Klonti, and Nomfundo Kaluva. It's quite a lineup. And what else is going to take place besides the music? Because you talked earlier about, Arts Alive, offering different artistic, not only just music, but there's also poetry, theater, art. And now, are these taking place at different times in the year and not all at once in one event?
Most certainly. We've got different focus areas in every quarter. For example, in Africa Month, it's the month that we're hosting the Choral Festival. So it takes place in a different month. We also have what we call a sonic revitalization, where we focus on, one of the icons that have contributed to the country through a program called EMBO, and that is solely focused on indigenous music. We do have visual arts exhibitions that are also taking place. We also activate our museums through exhibitions that look into the various collections that we have in our museums. And we also have, a fusion between music and museums, where we try and encourage a more youth audience for our museums through a program called Creative Native, for example, that we host at the James Hall Museum of Transport, and that brings together, people with vintage cars, food and crafts, and a musical experience that takes place. So we've got a wide range of activities that we launch.
Yeah.
But we also have a very strong capacity building initiative where we do talent identification and cultivation. This is a space that not many people play in, but somebody has to cultivate new talent and make sure that we prepare it for bigger stages, both domestically and internationally.
And how do you do that? Because my next question was, there are a lot of artists or musicians even who might be listening right now and ask, now how do I get into these programs? Because, we don't see these things until they happen. We don't know about them until we just see, them being advertised as they're happening. For instance, even with this one, Jazz and the Lights, some musicians are like, why didn't they call me? How come I'm not on the lineup? Kind of,
Yeah. So the demand will always outweigh the supply will always outweigh the demand.
Sure.
And for us, for example, is that we encourage, many creatives to follow our social media pages, because all the opportunities that we have are under the Utter Life social media pages. We are on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook as Utter Life Joburg. Please do follow that, because everything that has got to do with opportunities for creatives is advertised there.
And this is for Johannesburg.
This is for Johannesburg, but because Johannesburg occupies such a unique position in the country as a cultural capital, there are other instances where Johannesburg serves the country. For example, this jazz festival, Jazz in the Lights, if you look at the lineup, it's drawn largely from other parts of the country as well.
Okay. So let's quickly go through the day's experience on the 29th. It's just a one-day event.
Yes.
What time it starts, what people can expect, and I heard you were saying that it's going to be family orientated, kids are going to be there. So what is the day going to look like, and where do people get tickets?
So on the 29th of March, we start at 10 o'clock, and we encourage our patrons to arrive on time so that they can enjoy the zoo, because the ticket does allow you to enjoy the zoo for free. You can have a tour around the zoo and experience amenities. There's going to be food and beverage served. There's going to be activities for children as well. So but the main highlight of the event, it's really the music that's going to be presented on the day. We've got an exciting lineup of artists that are going to be performing, and this is really the great takeaway for the day.
So what do I bring? Do I just bring myself and a picnic basket or a chair, or what are you providing for me? Do I bring my own, beverages, or what exactly?
So you can bring a picnic basket, but alcoholic beverages will be served inside, so they will not be allowed into the venue. Because they are going to be for sale inside the venue. And this is also to try and encourage, small businesses that are serving and selling, food and beverage within the festival, to try and cultivate those businesses. So we do encourage people not to bring any alcoholic beverages, also no weapons, because this is a family-safe environment. Please don't bring big umbrellas. Just bring a camp chair and a picnic basket. That's all you allowed.
Parking for cars? Is there parking ride?
Yes.
Or what?
There's ample parking at the zoo. So our patrons would have, ample safe parking. We do have overflow parking, inside, also in the museum next to the zoo, the Ditsong Museum. So there will be ample parking for everyone.
Fantastic. Now we are, celebrating Human Rights Weekend, so to speak. And I did ask you, Vuyisile, what song can I play in your honor?
Yes.
as you celebrate, the heritage, not heritage, but the Human Rights Weekend. And you said, hey, Zimngqawana, by whatever happens, it has to be Zimngqawana and Abaphansi. So as I say, thank you for, coming to share this with us. What is it about this song and even Uzim that is special to you?
Well, Ubawupai Ukeche, Wabuzimngqawana is a very, special spirit being for many of us.
Absolutely.
But the more important thing about the song is that Abaphansi, it's really a recognition for those who came before us and paved the way, and many of them have given their lives, for us to be able to, enjoy the life, the limitations notwithstanding. And I think that it is a very important recognition of our forebears, because Abaphansi, it's always also recognition that asihambi sodwa as Black people,
Yes, the underground gang is always with us.
Yes.
Always with us. Okay. And that is Vuyisile Mshudulu. Mshudulu. Is it Mshudulu or Mshudulu? Mshudulu.
Yes.
Yeah, I put plus I like put it in it. Mshudulu.
Yes.
He's the director of the Directorate of Arts, Culture and Heritage, and talking to us about the upcoming Jazz in the Lights at Zoo Lake on the 29th of March. And he loves this track by Zimngqawana Abaphansi. And of course, Zim always talks to us straight to our soul and to our hearts and to our spirits. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure.